Kody Brown believed he'd kept everything under wraps. But when Robyn and an enigmatic fifth wife appear in court with incriminating evidence, a $6 million secret that could ruin everything, the Brown family's perfectly built world is on the brink of collapse, and nothing will ever be the same again. Comment below if you believe Kody can get out of this scandal. The courtroom is quiet, but the tension is oppressive. Sunlight filters through the high windows, flashing off the wood polish, but it accomplishes nothing to ease the sharp edge in the air. Kody Brown sits at the defense table, shoulders braced, eyes flicking, attempting to look composed, but the betrayal is etched on his face. He's perspiring a little, the slightest shake in his hands, giving away the turmoil within. Facing him, Robyn's eyes smolder with anger and resolve. At her side is a woman no one on the outside has ever laid eyes on. The fifth wife, as she is known in hushed tones. She regards Kody with icy calculation, her mere presence altering the dynamics of the room. Papers rustle, files bang, and the audience quiets as the judge enters. The air is scented with a hint of wood polish and anticipation. The very tread of feet, the slightest whisper rings out. Kody's thoughts are in turmoil. He has always managed the story, held secrets back, manipulated perception, but not here. Not this time. This time the evidence is corporeal, incontrovertible, and incendiary. What they're about to expose will stun the entire family and nation. Robyn stands up, her voice unshakable and clear. Your Honor, we have found financial records indicating that Mr. Brown has been hiding assets of more than $6 million. The records were concealed intentionally, and they have impacted the lives of each individual member of this family. Gasps echo through the courtroom. Kody's jaw clenches, his heart racing. He slouches forward, attempting to cut across the story with an over-rehearsed calm, but Robyn's voice is clipped, articulate, cutting through all of the excuses he has worked up. Meri, sitting behind him, is gripping her hands. Her eyes are wide with a combination of shock and betrayal. I can't believe I trusted him, she is muttering to herself, barely audible, but loud enough for the camera and courtroom whispers to record. Christine smirks, arms folded, a glint of satisfaction in her eyes. She's waited for a moment like this, a chink in Kody's armor, and now she can see it emerging. Slowly, inexorably, the fifth wife rises, delivering a folder full of evidence. These aren't numbers, she says. They are a map of lies, of manipulation, of betrayal. And today they will all be exposed. The judge's eyebrow goes up. He glances at Kody, and then the women. Mr. Brown, the judge declares, voice steady but authoritative. You will get your turn to reply. But the court needs to study these papers in detail. Kody gulps. The smooth facade of command he has kept for so long is beginning to crumble. Every sigh of uncertainty, every questioning look, burns him like fire. Nobody knows the whole story yet, but what happens next might destroy him altogether. The courtroom comes into gear. Attorneys rustle papers, cameras snap, and Kody settles back, attempting to compose himself. But in his mind, desperation roils. All the secret accounts, all the backroom deals, all the whispered fabrications, the truth is about to blow wide open in public. Robyn looks over at the fifth wife. They exchange a whispered nod, a silent gesture. This is not merely about going after Kody financially. This is about justice, accountability, and getting power back in a family where he has always been in charge. As the papers are placed on the table, the camera swoops over spreadsheets, bank reports, and ledgers, each line revealing a tale of methodical deception. Kody's face goes white. His hands spasm minutely. He knows that there's no such thing as an easy defense. And in that instant, the courtroom waits with bated breath. The secrets that have been kept under wraps for years are finally being unearthed. And there's no going back now. The first set of witnesses are summoned, and the suspense thickens. Hushed whispers and furtive glances among the Brown family members say it all. Alliances change in a matter of milliseconds. Loyalty is doubtful, and trust is broken. Even the judge leans forward, intrigued by the surprise twist. This is unprecedented. The judge whispers to herself, I have never witnessed evidence being brought forth like this in family court. Kody tries to speak, to clarify, to play down the damage, opening his mouth. Robyn cuts him off with another biting remark, her voice implacable. Your Honor, it's not all about the money. It's about the betrayal, the lies, and the years of manipulation. The tension reaches a fever pitch. The camera lingers on Kody's eyes, racing from face to face, seeking a lifeline. He gets none. This is a moment he can't stanch. And as the session concludes, the courtroom is left in stunned silence. The aura of betrayal lingers, threatening that the drama is just getting started. What Kody has done in private will soon wreck everything that he thought was inviolate. The courtroom seems smaller today, as if the very walls are closing in. All eyes are on Kody, all hearts pounding through the room. Robyn is at the front, her hands on the edge of the witness stand. Her face is set, but her eyes give away the profound emotional hurt she's suffered for years. It's not about revealing hidden financial truths. It's about revealing the man Kody's been behind closed doors. You've existed in a world where secrecy was king, Robyn states, her voice shaking a bit but firm. For years I remained quiet, expecting things to get better. But silence is complicity. And now the truth can no longer be denied. Each word she speaks cuts deeper than any cross-examination under oath could. Kody's fists clench. His mind is working in overdrive. How could Robyn have found out? How could a fifth wife, who had only just entered this life of deceit, have something as strong as evidence against him? Sweat forms along his temple, and for the first time, he appears weak, unsure. The fifth wife is standing, her figure commanding attention. Her voice is even but frosty, every word chosen. Your Honor, the financial documents show a deliberate pattern of concealment. This was not an error or an accident. It was deliberate, and it has affected everybody in this family, emotional, legally, financially. A murmur runs through the courtroom. The other wives glance at one another, some in disbelief, some in vindication. Christine hunches forward, her face a mask of satisfaction, and mutters under her breath. Finally, Meri appears ashen, ghost-like shivering as she grasps the pew's edge. Images flash in her head, late nights spent alone, hushed vows, abrupt disappearances, unanswered questions. Her heart thunders in her chest. The betrayal isn't about the money, it's about years of lies, of making her question her own judgment, of being manipulated by the one person she used to trust the most. Nobody could have ever imagined how far the betrayal went. The court clerk starts reading parts of the financial records out loud. Every line uncovers a new depth of deceit. Secret accounts, payments in fake names, investments done without the knowledge of the wives, funds consciously hidden. Each new discovery sends a wave of shock through the room. The camera cuts to Kody, whose face is twisted in rage, fear, and shock. He mouths a word to say something, to protest, but the gravity of the proof silences him. Robyn edges closer to the defense table. Her tone is low but becomes more biting, slicing through the murmurs. Kody, this isn't just about numbers. This is accountability. It's about being held accountable for every decision you've made, every lie you've told, every time you betrayed our trust. Kody swallows hard, attempting to keep his cool, but it's slipping away. His carefully built persona is disintegrating before the cameras, the judge, the public, and worst of all, his own family. The fifth wife leafs through a stack of folders filled with emails, signed affidavits, and bank records. Every one of these documents indicates intent. She states, every time he cooked the books or concealed assets, he knew what he was doing. And now, the truth is out. Every family secret, every falsehood, every illicit transaction is being revealed. Christine slouches back in her chair, narrowing her eyes, and mutters under her breath, heard by those standing near. Karma has a way of catching up. The tension mounts as the judge requests a recess. The room breathes a sigh, but the pressure does not release. Whispers fill the courtroom. The supporters nod their heads in shock. Others shake heads in disbelief. Kody stands in a corner, muttering to himself, attempting to get his thoughts together. But even he is aware. The walls are shutting in. Outside, snippets of conversation are caught by cameras. Robyn and the fifth wife crouch together, going over notes, getting ready for the next stage. The atmosphere is charged, intent, resolute, unstoppable. Meri sits by herself, gazing at the gleaming wooden table. She thinks back to late nights spent fretting, unanswered queries, and now, the ghastly brightness of infidelity. Her lips quiver, as she forms tears. How could I have been so blind? She says in a whisper. The court may have recessed, but the battle, the war of emotions is only just beginning. When the session resumes, Kody is clearly agitated. His normally calm, measured demeanor is shattered. His voice trembles slightly as he struggles to get a word in. But Robyn cuts across him with calculated, measured words that slice through all his excuses. "You can't explain away years of manipulation," she says. "You can't apologize for concealing millions. The days of control are over." The fifth wife continues, her voice unshakable. "Justice is not about punishment. It's about truth, and the truth will be witnessed today." The camera cuts back over Kody once more, pausing on the subtle shake in his jaw, the knot between his shoulders, and the dawning awareness that this courtroom is no longer his domain. All of his secrets, all of his deceptions, all of his lies that he has woven for so long, are now up for judgment. And just as Kody believes that he's hit his bottom, the next bombshell is going to destroy everything he believed he knew. The segment closes as the judge beckons the next witness onto the stand. All eyes in the courtroom lean in, waiting for the next shocker. Robyn and the fifth wife share a quick nod, aware of the most difficult, the most incendiary evidence still to come. The courtroom feels suffocating. Now, each breath heavy with anticipation. Cameras hover, capturing every twitch, every expression, every micro-reaction. Kody Brown sits rigid at the defense table, eyes darting from Robyn to the fifth wife, from Christine's sharp gaze to Meri's trembling hands. The weight of what's coming is almost palpable, a storm he cannot escape. Robyn stands up once more, holding a binder thicker than its predecessor. Her tone is steady, nearly clinical, but the feeling below it permeates through. "Your Honor," she starts, "the following documents are not merely about financial dishonesty. They are about personal manipulation, trust abuse, and choices that have directly damaged members of this family emotionally and economically. What's about to be uncovered will affect no one in this family without leaving a mark." The judge leans forward, her interest heightened. "Please continue," she says. Robyn opens the binder, pushing the top sheet across the courtroom table. The document is a painstaking record of transactions Kody made in secret from any wife, including secret investments, secret properties, and transfers made to look legitimate. But it's not just about money. There are coded messages, emails, and private texts, indicating careful planning and cover-up. The fifth wife advances, gesturing to underlined lines. "This is evidence of premeditated deceit," she says. "Each decision deliberate, each account concealed. And it was done at the cost of those who trusted him most." Kody's face goes white. For years he had kept control, manipulated perception, and twisted situations to suit himself. But here the facts scream louder than explanation, louder than appeal for compassion. Meri gasps, leaning in. "All this time, it was right in front of me," she breathes, tears filling. Her voice cracks with betrayal, rage, and heartbreak. The feelings stacked and raw. She presses a hand to her chest as if the shock physically hurts her. Christine smirks quietly from the other side of the room, arms crossed. Finally, she says under her breath, "The truth comes out, and it's glorious to watch." Robyn's eyes meet Kody's. The courtroom hushes. Every syllable, every pause, every glance carries weight. "You've controlled narratives, manipulated emotions, and hidden truths," she says steadily. "But today the veil is lifted. Every secret, every lie, every hidden asset will now be accounted for." The walls Kody built around his secrets are crumbling, and the collapse is inevitable. Kody opens his mouth to argue, but the fifth wife holds up a hand, telling him to hold on. "Your words cannot undo the facts," she says sternly. "You cannot rewrite history. The evidence is irrefutable, and every single person who trusted you deserves answers." Sweat beads on Kody's hairline. His jaw clenches, and his hands shake a little as he holds onto the edge of the table. He glances over at Robyn and the fifth wife, pleading in his eyes, but sees only steel determination. This is not argument anymore. This is exposure, accountability, and reckoning. The judge summons the first witness, a bookkeeper who has carefully chronicled Kody's money moves during the past 10 years. The bookkeeper enters the stand, toting piles of books and spreadsheets. Each page he sets out reveals more about Kody's clandestine life, money diverted under false pretenses, hidden accounts totaling millions, and mysterious transfers to offshore companies. Each new discovery unearths yet another layer of Kody's secret existence, and it's more appalling than anyone could have guessed. Meri leans closer to Christine, whispering, "How could he after everything we've been through?" Christine just shakes her head slightly, a mixture of pity and vindication in her eyes. Robyn steps forward again, pointing to a particular document. "This transfer," she says, her voice low but cutting, "was made without the consent of the family, and directly impacts Meri's financial security. It's not just deceit. It's betrayal of trust on the deepest level." Kody's face goes pale. His calm is broken, substituted by a combination of panic and incredulity. For the first time in years, he finds himself cornered, exposed and out of control. The judge pushes up her glasses, reading over the papers. "Brown," she speaks, voice steady but authoritative. "Such a level of secrecy is unprecedented. You will have a chance to react, but comprehend, the evidence is thorough and detailed." The judge's statement hangs suspended in the air, like a guillotine. Everyone realizes Kody's next step may turn everything around. The fifth wife produces an envelope filled with audio recordings, private conversations where Kody discusses the hidden accounts and manipulates certain family members into believing fabricated stories. The recordings play through the courtroom speakers. Kody flinches as his own words echo in the room, proof that he orchestrated a web of lies and deceit. The room falls silent. Every whisper, every glance, every gasp is magnified. The evidence is not only financial. It's emotional, personal, and damning. Kody cannot escape it. Meri's shoulders shake as she finally lets herself cry openly, the betrayal cutting deeper than she ever imagined. Robyn's eyes glisten with quiet triumph, knowing this moment has been long overdue. Christine reclines, smiling subtly, as Janelle clasps her hands in a tight vice, a jumble of shock, sorrow, and exoneration running through her veins. Both wives react differently to the betrayal. Yet the common thread is the same. Kody's secrets have been exposed, and things will never be the same. With each new revelation, Kody's kingdom of control disintegrates, and the emotional consequences are only just starting. The interview concludes with a dramatic halt, the judge calling for a momentary recess. The camera lingers on Kody's gazing down at the floor, the burden of exposure bearing down upon him. In the hallway outside the courtroom, murmurs circulate. The tale is circulating quicker than anyone could have predicted, and the public is eager for every morsel of information. And just when Kody believes he's reached rock bottom, the fifth wife is holding the last piece of evidence, the one that will completely destroy him. The fluorescent lights in the courtroom appear harsher now, nearly cruel, casting sharp shadows on the face of Kody Brown. His serene, assured self has utterly shattered. All eyes are on him. Robyn, the fifth wife, Meri, Christine, Janelle, and each one of them feels as though they're drilling through the well-crafted facade he's worn for years. Robyn stands up once more, her stance unshakable, each step intentional. "Your Honor," she starts out, her tone steady, but with an undeniable energy. "We have reserved the most important evidence until now. What we are about to reveal cannot be disregarded. It is the last piece of the jigsaw, establishing willful deception and manipulation over years. The family's next revelation will not only surprise the Brown family, it might destroy their whole world." The fifth wife enters, clutching a little, discreet folder. The room cranes in as she opens it, and inside are a series of contracts, signed documents, and emails. Each one is meticulously highlighted, creating a trail of deliberate financial dishonesty and individual betrayal. These are not just documentation. These are a blueprint for Kody's secret life. Kody's fists clench in quiet terror. He looks over at Robyn, at the fifth wife, at the judge, searching frantically for a means to take back control. But there is no way. All the secrets, all the manipulating, all the secret deals are exposed. The judge's face is inscrutable, but her eyes show the seriousness of the evidence. "Mr. Brown," she declares, voice steady but firm, "this documentation is lengthy and troubling. The court will scrutinize each carefully, and your explanation will need to cover each discrepancy." For the first time, Kody sees that control is slipping away from him. Robyn moves closer, her voice dropping to emphasize, "Kody, this isn't about money. This is about trust, integrity, and the emotional destruction your secrets have wrought. We trusted you. We believed in you. and you broke our trust again and again. Meri's eyes glisten with tears as she whispers under her breath. All those years, all those lies. Her hands shake as she grips the edge of her seat. Christine's eyes narrow, a subtle smirk playing at her lips, savoring the moment of long-awaited justice. The fifth wife starts releasing audio recording. Kody's own voice resonates in the room, confessing secret transfers, clandestine dealings, and manipulation. Each audio is more incriminating than the previous one. Kody winces, incapable of looking anyone in the eye, his meticulously built world crumbling with every word listened to out loud. All the lies he has told, all the secrets he held, are now revealed for all to witness. The courtroom is heavy with tension. Whispers spread like waves. Janelle clutches her hands together tightly, wide eyes darting about in an attempt to absorb the extent of betrayal. Christine sits back in her chair, smug but controlled, observing as Kody's chameleon persona disintegrates. Robyn speaks to the judge once more. Your Honor, there is more. Aside from the recordings and money, there are personal letters demonstrating emotional manipulation and threats to keep them in line. This is not merely lying, it's a cycle of deliberate hurt. Kody attempts to reply, voice quivering slightly. I can explain. Robyn interrupts him, tone hard and firm. No more excuses. Every word, every move has been recorded. The moment for reasons is over. The truth is here, irrefutable and unavoidable. The emotional burden of these disclosures is overwhelming, not only for Kody, but for all who believed in him. The judge requests a brief recess as whispers circulate in the courtroom. Kody backs into a corner, face ashen, hands shaking ever so slightly. For the first time, he is really cornered, bereft of control, and intensely aware of the repercussions that confront him now. Outside court, the camera spots Robyn and the fifth wife huddled together, going over the next batch of incriminating evidence. They exchange a silent determination look. This fight is far from over, and the climax is inside. Meri has her head in her hand, tears streaming down her face. Christine mutters something under her breath, a combination of victory and vindication. Janelle looks on in shock and sadness, seeing just how deep the betrayal went. What happens next will take Kody to his breaking point, and the family to its emotional breaking. The session continues. Kody, ashen and shaking, stands up. His voice is barely audible. I never meant for any of this to have happened. Robyn comes closer, words slicing through his speech like a knife. Intentions don't cancel out consequences. Kody, actions do. And you need to deal with every single one of them. The camera sweeps over the courtroom. Each face speaks volume. Shock, rage, betrayal, relief, and finally a long-awaited sense of justice. The last documents are laid on the table. The recordings continue, and the room is kept in suspense. The evidence is insurmountable, and the emotional backlash is just beginning. Kody's world is about to fall apart. With the end of the session, the judge orders the next witness. The atmosphere is charged. The air is heavy with anticipation. Robyn and the fifth wife share a quick nod. They are aware the most explosive revelation is reserved for now, one that would change the Brown family forever. The courtroom is tense, nearly electric, with the next witness being called. Everyone's eyes are on Kody Brown, his face white and a look of panic and disbelief etched in every The carefully crafted persona of control he has had is destroyed, replaced by a man trapped, exposed and unsure. Robyn stands beside the witness stand, her stance assertive but controlled. Your Honor, he starts off, voice firm but with intensity. What we're about to present is not merely proof of financial fraud, but a trend of emotional manipulation that has touched every single member of this family. The deeper the secrets, the darker the truth gets, and no one is ready for what's coming. The witness, an ex-business partner, who had operated close with Kody, emerges clutching a sheaf of documents. His hands shake minimally as he starts. I was aware of several accounts and transactions. Mr. Brown made sure they were kept, even his wives. I have the records to show that. Gasps resonate in the courtroom. Kody's jaw clenches. He leans forward, attempting to cut in with the story, but his speech hesitates. Each page spread out before him is a dagger of proof, showing not just deception but willful hiding. Meri sits, her fists clenched in her lap, tears brimming in her eyes. All along we were blind, she whispers softly.
but the impact of her words rings out across the. Christine smiles wryly, a spark of triumph in her eyes. Justice at last, she whispered. The fifth wife moves close, setting down a document on the table. This, she says, her voice steady but icy. Documents transactions carried out clandestine, transfers concealed under a and efforts to control perception. These are not errors. They are deliberate acts of treachery. Kody's face goes pale, his eyes wildly flicking. He starts to speak, but Robyn cuts him off, her tone firm and unshakable. No more excuses. All those secret accounts, all the deception, all the manipulations are before the court now. Kody finally understands the extent of the evidence, and the repercussions might be too late to reverse. The judge removes her glasses, leaning forward. Mr. Brown, the court views these findings very your explanation to cover each of points, but realize the evidence is thorough and Kody gulps hard, his voice trembling. I didn't mean for Robyn interrupts him harshly. Intention do not eliminate results. Actually did have damaged family. The tension mounts as the fifth wife reveals recordings of Kody talking about secret finance manipulative tactics family. Every recording is worse, and Kody is cringing, unable to look any of them in the eye. Meri's hands tremble as she grips her chest. How could I have blamed after all of breathes tears flowing down her. Christine reclines in satisfaction her smirk. Janelle clasps him tightly. Shock, sorrow, and vindication crossing. Every bit of revelation cuts deep, and Kody's defense break down under the onslaught of. The courtroom is quiet as the last documents are placed on the contracts, emails, or notes, indicating intentional hiding. Mr. Robyn make manipulation. The air is charged, every whispered word magnified. Every heavy. Robyn takes a step forward, voice slightly soft but still charged authority. It's not about just revealing wrongdoing. It's about taking back our lives, our dignity, and making someone responsible for all the of lying. Kody gulps, trying to frame the word. The proof is staggering. He glances at Robyn, at the fifth wife, at the judge, and ultimately at his reflection, a highly polished top. For the first time, he sees the man he has become. A man laid bare, exposed, and alone. And just when Kody believes he's confronted the worst, another discovery comes along, one that can ruin everything he has left intact. The court session breaks, but tension courtroom is electric. Robyn, the fifth wife, ready for round two, anticipating that the incendiary remains on the street. Rumors fly, the tale spreading with lightning speed, each detail more sensational than the last.
Within, the wives sit in stunned contemplation, their feelings raw and unguarded. Meri dabs at tears, Christine reclines in subdued contentment, and Janelle grapples with the scope of the betrayal. The courtroom might have paused, but the emotional tempest is far from abated. With each new revelation, the Brown family comes closer to a breaking point, and Kody's world stands on the precipice of shattering. When the proceedings begin anew, cameras record Kody's tense faces, his shaking hands, and his initial desperation. The judge nods to the next witness, and anticipation buzzes through the air. Robyn and the fifth wife share a nod, sensing that the testimony forthcoming will be the one that would forever alter everything. The courtroom is charged to the point of asphyxiation. All eyes are on Kody Brown, whose normal demeanor of control is not present. Slumped shoulders, slightly shaking hands, set jaw. This is not about defending himself anymore. This is survival, attempting to cling to a world fast sliding away from him. Robyn stands once more, her presence demanding. Her voice is firm but bears an unmistakable burden of pain and authority. Your Honor, she starts. We are now showing the most compelling evidence, communications and financial transactions that prove deliberate, persistent manipulation and concealment over years. It is not random, and it is not innocuous. What Kody believed he kept in the dark is now emerging into the harsh light of day, and it's much worse than anyone could have imagined. The fifth wife comes forward, with a thick binder of papers and screenshots. These documents, she asserts, her voice sharp but steady, demonstrate a pattern of dishonesty, not just economically, but emotionally. Decisions were kept secret, trust was violated over and over again, and the effect on the family has been huge. Kody's face pales, his hands shake as he attempts to tighten his tie, a desperate move to compose himself. He looks at the wives, pleading for mercy, for compassion, for anything, but sees only resolve and determination. Meri's fists grip the pew railing. Her chest rises and falls as she fights to keep her emotions in check. All this time, all those lies. How could I have been so blind? She breathes, voice a mere whisper. Tears run down her face as memories of secret promises, sudden disappearances, and insidious manipulations rush through her thoughts. Christine leans back, arms folded, a small smirk on her lips. She sees Kody implode, a quiet smugness in her expression. Janelle, on the other hand, clutches her knees, her mind whirling with years of deception and heartache. All the secret transactions, all the behind closed doors deals, all the unspoken lies now flash before her eyes in a grim montage. The psychological damage is staggering. Each new revelation cuts a little deeper, leaving no one spared. The judge inclines forward, her eyes scanning the papers with piercing intensity. "Mr. Brown," she tells him, voice unflappable but authoritative, "the court demands total responsibility. Every item of evidence will be weighed, and you will be given a chance to comment." Kody swallows hard, voice trembling. "I never intended for," Robyn cuts in, her voice firm and unflinching. "Intentions don't cancel out consequences, Kody, actions do. And those actions hurt every member of this family emotionally and financially." The fifth wife starts listening to audio recordings of Kody secretly discussing hidden money and plans to manipulate the family's perception. Each statement rings out in the courtroom, causing Kody to visibly wince. His face sets, his posture weakens, and for the first time he is helpless. Meri's shoulders shake with sobs. Christine leans back, satisfied but composed. Janelle's hands tremble as she processes the full magnitude of the betrayal. Robyn stands firm, her eyes locked on Kody, conveying a quiet but undeniable sense of justice and retribution. Every lie, every hidden account, every betrayal is now exposed, and the fallout will be catastrophic. Kody tries to respond again, but the fifth wife interrupts. "The court needs facts, not excuses. Each document, each recording, each transaction tells a story of deliberate deception." The drama is tense. Whispers echo through the courtroom as onlookers stretch forward, eyes wide, attempting to absorb the magnitude of the disclosures. Cameras record Kody's shaking hands, his nervous looks, the furrowed lines around his eyes. His a man laid bare, with no place to turn. Robyn approaches closer, voice weakening but still resolute. "Kody, it's not about the money. It's about the trust you broke, the emotional abuse, the lives you turned upside down. You can't erase the past, but you can confront it." And as the next revelation of evidence comes out, even Kody knows there might not be going back from here. The courtroom waits in suspense, as the fifth wife places the last pile of documents on the table. Elaborate financial plans, hidden accounts, and letters that connect Kody directly to intentional acts of infidelity. Each page uncovers another layer of betrayal, isolating Kody more and more from his community. Meri leans forward, her eyes shining with tears, whispering, This is worse than I ever imagined." Christine's small smile tightens with satisfaction, and Janelle battles shock and vindication. Robyn, though, stands tall, the very personification of determination and resolve. The judge looks over Kody for the final time before adjournment. "This court has witnessed great evidence of intentional deception and manipulation," she says. "Proceedings to follow will decide the outcome. The world of the Brown family is hanging by a thread, and Kody's empire of domination could be utterly dismantled." As the session comes to a close, the wives cluster outside the courtroom, feelings raw but resolve unbroken. Robyn and the fifth wife exchange a silent nod. They know the last pieces are on the way, the disclosures that will permanently alter the family forever. Kody, on the other hand, withdraws into isolation, well aware that his secrets, long in the ground, are now public and irrefutable. The courtroom is charged. All eyes are fixed on Kody Brown, whose typical reserve is totally destroyed. He hunches at the defense table, his hands white-knuckled as they clutch the edge as though it might hold him against the torrent of reality descending upon him. Robyn stands by the witness stand, her stature commanding, her glare upon him unflinching in determination. "Your Honor," Robyn starts, voice firm but laced with emotion, "we are offering the last and most important evidence, a series of exchanges and accounting moves that reveal not only willful cover-up, but a continued pattern of manipulation and deception that has touched each of the members of this family. The most devastating evidence so far is about to be revealed, and no one in this courtroom will be left unscathed." The fifth wife enters, also sitting down, after placing a set of folders on the table. The folders are thick, filled with emails, signed documents, and personal messages showing Kody's secret transactions and manipulation tactics. These documents, she states, voice sharp but deliberate, illustrate an intentional calculated attempt to manipulate the family for years. Kody swallows hard, his heart pounding. He looks at Robyn, at the fifth wife, at the judge, and finally at the wives, Meri, Christine, and Janelle, all who are observing, waiting, and judging. His image of control, so carefully fostered, has dissipated. Meri's hands shake as she holds a folder of her own, eyes wide with disbelief. All these years, every secret, every lie, she whispers, tears brimming. Her chest heaves as the emotional weight presses down on her. Christine leans back, a faint smirk of vindication on her lips, while Janelle's face reflects shock mixed with relief. The judge leans forward, her eyes unflinching. Mr. Brown, the court has at its disposal considerable evidence of conscious withholding and manipulation. You will get to answer, but be warned, the paperwork is complete and leaves little to the imagination. Kody's very carefully built world is coming apart, and each and every one of his lies is out. Robyn takes another step forward, voice stern but passion-filled. This is not a matter of money or transactions, Kody. This is about trust, loyalty, and respect. Every falsehood, every secret account, every manipulation out of sight, has caused permanent wounds to the ones you trusted most. The fifth wife continues, voice unflinching. And the most incriminating one is here. The communication records that directly connect Kody with a $6 million conspiracy meant to deceive, manipulate. This is not conjecture. This is fact. Kody blanches, his voice shaking as he attempts to reply. I didn't mean. Robyn cuts in. Intentions do not matter. Actions create responsibility, Kody, and your actions have done profound damage to this family. The reality is crushing, and the psychological devastation is apocalyptic, not only for Kody, but for all members of the Brown family. The courtroom falls silent as the last piece of evidence is brought forward. Recordings of Kody scheming, emails where he manipulates reality, and financial records detailing secret transfers. Every discovery hits like a punch, making Kody visibly shake. Meri hides her face in her hands, fighting to suppress sobs. Christine's eyes flash with pleasure, and Janelle clutches her knees tightly, trying to grasp the extent of betrayal. Robyn's eyes never waver, a blend of victory and sorrow over the years wasted. The judge orders a brief recess, and the courtroom hums with expectation. Outside, cameras catch whispers, gossip, and shocked faces. Already, the story has started to ripple outside the walls, the public enthralled by each new discovery. And just when it appears Kody has nowhere left to go, the last bombshell is dropped, one that might utterly devastate him. When the session continues, Robyn and the fifth wife set down the final folder on the table. The room is silent, anticipating. Each page, each document, each recording speaks to one truth. Kody Brown has not just hidden assets, but has actively lied to his family for years. Kody stands up, face white, hands trembling. I never wanted this, he whimpers, voice shaking. Robyn emerges, unflinching. It's not about what you desired, Kody. It's about what you did. And today, truth has no censor. Every lie, every betrayal, every secret, it's all on display for all the world to see. The judge relaxes slightly, allowing the seriousness of the evidence to be absorbed. All documentation, testimonies, and recordings will be examined by this court. Mr. Brown, your actions have repercussion, and the court will see they are dealt with. The Brown family will never again be the same, and Kody might have lost something more than simply control. As the session concludes, the camera shows the wives leaving the courtroom, feelings raw but determined. Robyn and the fifth wife share a knowing look, success in revealing the truth. Kody withdraws, alone and devastated, completely cognizant that the full impact is just starting. Meri leans over to Janelle and whispers, how did it come to this? How could he keep so much hidden? Christine looks back at Kody and smiles softly. Outside, rumors circulate, camera bulbs flash, and the Brown family's private life is now public spectacle. The last session will determine it all. Who stays, who goes, and what punishment Kody will receive. The courtroom is heavy with tension. All eyes are on Kody Brown, whose characteristic air of confidence has vanished entirely. His hands shake as he holds onto the corner of the table, jaw clenched, eyes flicking to the wives sitting across from him. Fifth wife, Robyn, Meri, Christine and Janelle. The truth has made him vulnerable, cornered and exposed. Robyn steps forward, holding the final set of documents. Your Honor, she says, voice steady but resonant with years of pain and determination. We present the last and most conclusive evidence of deliberate concealment, manipulation, and betrayal. This is the culmination of years of secrecy and deception, and the impact on the family has been profound. The moment everyone has been waiting for, the final truth is about to be revealed. The fifth wife sets out the documents, emails, and recordings that chart every attempt Kody made to keep something secret. Each item is incriminating. Every secret account, every manipulative tactic, every betrayal is laid bare. The courtroom is quiet, apart from the soft rustle of papers. Kody's face whitens further. His normal calm is absent, replaced by fear and desperation. Meri leans forward, sobbing, tears streaming down her face. All these years I don't believe I didn't see it, she breathes. Christine smiles to herself, pleased, and Janelle clutches her hands tightly, emotions knotted between shock and vindication. Robyn's eyes stay locked on Kody, unyielding, a cross between triumph and sorrow. The judge clears his throat. Mr. Brown, the evidence shown is thorough and extremely troubling. Your actions have inflicted great damage, emotional, financial, personal. The court will take into consideration proper action to make things right. Kody has at last been revealed, and the punishment is unavoidable. Kody tries to speak, voice trembling. I never meant. Robyn interrupts firmly. Intentions don't erase consequences. Kody, your actions have hurt every single person in this family, and the truth cannot be undone. The fifth wife adds, this isn't just about money or deception. It's about trust, respect, and accountability. Today the family receives answers, and justice will be served. The courtroom falls silent as the last recordings are played. Kody's own words confessing to manipulating, hiding, and lying. Each recording hits like a sledgehammer, reverberating through the space. Kody winces, each word a reminder that his power is lost. Meri covers her face with her hands, weeping. Christine sits back, victorious. Janelle's eyes shine, grappling with a combination of shock and relief. Robyn stands firm, the very definition of determination and strength. The emotional fallout is overwhelming, and the Brown family's world may never be the same. Outside the courtroom, cameras capture snippets of conversation. Reporters whisper about the $6 million scheme, the exposed secrets, and the dramatic confrontation that unfolded. The story spreads like wildfire, capturing the public's attention and outrage. The wives confer quickly, speaking softly of encouragement and relief. Robyn and the fifth wife communicate with a quick nod, having no doubt the most incendiary evidence has been shared, and that some measure of justice has been served. Kody withdraws, alone and stunned, knowing his secrets are no longer his own. All deception, all secret accounts, all manipulation have been laid open for all to witness. And now, the Brown family has to confront the ultimate question: can they restore trust, or is everything now irreparably broken? As the hearing comes to a close, the judge makes one final comment. This court acknowledges the seriousness of the actions exposed today. The repercussions will be decided, but let this be an example that truth, transparency, and responsibility cannot be overlooked. Meri whispers to Janelle, we survived, but at what cost? Christine glances back at Kody, her smirk lingering, while Robyn silently reflects on the years of struggle, endurance, and finally vindication. The courtroom doors close, but the story and the fallout continues beyond these walls. What will the future hold for the Brown family? When the camera zooms out, we're left with one question lingering in our minds. What would you do if someone you trusted the most let you down on such a massive scale? This last CTA provokes commenting, engaging, and thinking, and leaves the audience emotionally invested in what's next.